All right, welcome back for another video. I'm going to share with you my prop firm challenge update, but more importantly, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I trade specifically and how I make it for myself. Pretty straightforward and simple. I'm going to share with you and get into exactly how I do that. But first, a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is financial advice. Trading, as you know, is extremely risky, and most people do lose money. Everything I'm sharing with you here is simply for educational purposes and nothing more. I don't make any guarantee or any promise of that anyone can achieve a specific result. You and you ultimately are responsible for your successes or failures and nobody else. So let's get into it. On the screen here, I do have Euro USD pulled up. I'm on the 1 minute, but I'm going to drop down to the 1 hour. Now, let me just give you a quick update real quick on one of my prop firm challenges. I'm going to share with you how that's been getting on. So prop firm challenges are in a demo environment, and that is what you're seeing right now. I started this at 100,000. I'm almost at 105,000. So I started this one a while ago, back in November. And recently, I started getting very, very aggressive with this account to try to push it forward. You see, I've been taking very little risk on this particular account, and I've been very meticulous with which types of trades that I'm actually taking. So this one's taken me a bit longer, but you can see here how I have been kind of just pushing this really hard, really aggressively lately to kind of just push it past that 108,000 so that I can move on to phase two finally and hopefully in this account. Time will tell, but either way, if I fail this, if I pass it, I will let you guys know how that is getting on. Now, how am I trading this specific account? Well, I'm going to get into it right now in this video, and I firmly believe that just too many people tend to overcomplicate trading. It really can be straightforward. All right, you can see I don't have any indicators pulled up, and I'm just going to use straight levels and gaps. All right, that's all I'm going to look at to really determine whether I may or may not get involved in the market here. So it is Sunday night. I'm looking at Euro USD right now. And again, these are just my opinions here. This is what I'm looking at here. Now, this is hypothetical. I'm going to remove this because I haven't done anything yet. All right. Now, some of you may be familiar with the term fair value gaps, imbalances, whatever the case may be. And that's what I'm looking at here. I have two of those marked off on my charts. So all I'm really looking for, okay, price tends to gravitate or likes to gravitate towards these gaps right here. Okay, so there's one above price and there's one below price right now. All right, and not always, but it's probable that price is going to want to come up to one of these areas here or come down to this area here. All right. It's also possible that price just blows right through this, right? And right to this one here. All right. But these are areas of interest for me right now for the short term here. And when I look at the Euro USD every single morning, I wake up, I do my analysis for my Discord group. I talk about it in my Telegram. In fact, there is a link in the description below here if you want to hop in my Telegram group and check this out. I do morning analysis periodically there in that group so that you can check that out if you'd like to do so. All right. Excuse me. Still fighting a cold here. So what I'm looking at here are two things, and these are the primary two things I look at in my trading here. All right, I'm looking at guides or levels. All right, I don't necessarily like to place this level in any one specific area. I more or less call it a guide because they're subjective, right? It could be up here, it could be down here, it could be down here. So this is just a guide, an area that if price were to really break over this, it would more than likely invalidate my trade idea. So that's why I have them there. Now, these gaps here, they happen all over the place. And generally, these gaps like to be filled or most of the time get filled. So they're really good areas to use as targets. And that's what I'm doing right now tonight with this particular setup. I'm looking for price to get to one of these areas here, and then when it does, I may or may not decide to take action there or get involved in some way, shape, or form here. All right. So when it gets up here, all right, I then drop down to the lower time frames and I'm looking for some type of confluence. whether that's a rejection or a break of structure, it really doesn't matter. I know a lot of you guys use indicators or use other systems. Really, for me, when it gets up there, it's more or less just a change of structure or a break of structure of some point on the lower time frames for my confirmations here. Okay, now I like this here, and the reason I like this here is because it's based off of price action. All right, price action and these gaps. I'm going to move this circle on my screen right here so you can see it. So there's a lot of rejection right here. Do you see this? If we look left, there's rejection here. There's rejection here that acted as resistance. This also acted as resistance. Now it's support. So will price gravitate towards this gap and then have some kind of reaction in this area? Well, we have this gap right here, all right, and then I have my guide area up here, which is acting as an intermediate level or just an area where I think if price gets above it, it would invalidate my idea. So that's what I'm basing it off of. Now, down below, same idea here. I'm looking for this gap right here. Okay, there are some rejections off to the left down here. All right, rejection, 2 rejections here, and then price did reject right there. So will this area, if I pull this up right here, will this area then become a possible area for price to reject off of? Well, that's what we're going to find out here. Again, this would more than likely be, if I move this down here, this would more than likely be an area where if price got below it, it would invalidate my idea. So what do I think is going to happen here and how I trade? Well, I think price is going to kind of play around in this area until it decides which way it wants to go here. All right, or may potentially go here, right? So that is my trade idea here and how I trade and how I have been trading my prop firm challenge. I'm not overcomplicating things. I'm not using all kinds of crazy indicators. I really do think a lot of people tend to overcomplicate trading. They overthink things and they're looking for all these confluences. At the end of the day, price goes up or down, and then it moves to specific areas of interest or areas and levels, and then it may or may not have a reaction here. And if you're somebody who can read price action in real time and you have that chart time put in, then after a while, you begin to pick up on these little things right here that I'm sharing with you right now to have a higher probability that the trade may actually work out. Again, can't guarantee anything. I don't know what price is going to do. Nobody does, right? All I can do is manage my risk appropriately and look for these areas where I think there may be some type of reaction. Now, the big question here is if price does navigate up here, nobody knows if a reaction does happen down this way. I just don't know how big of a reaction. It could be really small and then come all the way back up here and break this area. All right. Same goes for down below. Price could come all the way down here and it could have a big reaction to come all the way up here, or the reaction could be very tiny and then come down and try to grab these lows over here to the left. All right. So again, the best thing for me, or what I do, is look for these gaps and then I try to find a level. If there is no level, if there's no obvious area of rejections here, then I tend to look for more confluences on the lower time frames. So in this specific case, I could drop down to the 5-minute, for example, and I could start looking at areas of or price structure. So let's just say, for example, if price did want to navigate back up here and try to fill this, perhaps it came down, it made a low, came back up, then I might mark off this low as an area of a structure break, which would be a confirmation or an area of confluence or a confluence for me to possibly get involved at that point in time. So this is my idea. We'll see what happens. We'll see how price gets on with it. And again, if I come back over to my account here, I'll pull it up real quick again. You can see that is exactly how I've been trading. Now, I have not been holding these very long lately because I'm just pushing this through really quick here because, you know, it's been since November. And I said, you know what? I'm either going to pass this or I'm going to fail it. So I'm just going to sit here and take these really small trades that I believe have the highest probability, and I'm not going to hold them very long. I'm just going to be in and out, get my profit, and you can see how that's been getting on. Now, I did do about $12,587 profit in this prop firm challenge, which is again a demo account. It's not real money. It's not a lot in a live account. So therefore, things may not react or respond the same way as they would in a live market due to liquidity and other varying factors here. All right, but the commissions are pretty high on this particular prop account. So that is why you see all this profit over here, and then I'm only at $104,888 profit. So let's see how this gets on. And again, I'll come back over to the charts real quick, and you can see price is moving up to one of my areas of interest, or getting closer, but I'm not doing anything right now. I just want to share with you these gaps and these levels, and if you're able to identify them in the chart, at least for me, it helps me determine at least my bias in the market, or if I plan to get involved in any areas here. So once again, thanks for watching. Check out my free Telegram group. I am doing my morning analysis over there. You're more than welcome to join and check it out. And again, thank you all for watching here. If you have questions, feel free to comment, and I'll answer those in the comments below. Take care.